Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Middleware Technologies. Today we'll be looking at how we can install and configure Prometheus with Fluent-bit metrics endpoint. So basically what I'm trying to do over here is we will be having a Fluent-bit service up and running which actually collects the system level metrics using the node exporter plugin, and this uh, metrics are exposed using the Prometheus exporter metrics exporter output plugin, from where we will be collecting the metrics from the system, basically from the system node. So we are going to install and configure Prometheus in such a way that we will be able to collect the data which is getting exposed from the Fluent-bit agent. So let us see how we can achieve this in this video. So I'm currently working on Fedora 39 workstation with Ansible 2.16.2 installed on my system, and we are going to do this installation and configuration of Prometheus on the remote machine, that is Fedora 39 server. So what exactly is Prometheus? Prometheus is basically a technology used to collect the data or the system level activity data or performance data in a time series manner. So basically it collects the data with a time series in a time at a particular timestamp based on what is the value. It stores that value in the time series database. So this technology is basically used to collect the data and store it in a time series database so that it can be retrieved and queried. So Prometheus is basically used for that purpose. So if you go into the documentation of Grafana introduction, so you have a quick read about what is Prometheus and how it is utilized to collect the data and what type of what exactly that data helps us in basically we can use that data to analyze further, to project them in graphs which can be done using the Grafana. So let us try to understand about the project structure that we are going to use in this to set up the Prometheus environment. So let me go into my shell. So here is my project structure. So basically we are going to install and configure Prometheus using Ansible playbook. So this is the playbook, and these are the following rules that we are going to basically execute in order to install and configure the Prometheus instance. So we have basically install Prometheus, configure Prometheus, start, stop, restart Prometheus. So these are the roles for start, stop and restart of the Prometheus, and we are going to use the following expose Prometheus in order to expose a particular Prometheus instance port so that we can access it remotely. So this is what we are going to do with this Ansible playbook. So let me open this playbook in Visual Studio Code so that it will be easy for us to navigate. Let me close all this, and we will try to understand about each and every role over here. So as I said, we are going to install and configure this playbook on a remote virtual environment or virtual system. So let me start up that machine also. So I am using KVM virtualization, and I have already set up a virtual machine based on Fedora 39 server. So let me open another tab and SSH onto my remote machine. Okay, so now we have file, like our remote machine that we have logged in, and this is my local machine from where like we will be executing our playbook. Let me now go into my documentation again. So we have looked at the project structure. Let us now try to understand about each and every step that we are going to do in this video. So as a first step, like we need to ensure that the Fluent-bit service is up and running. So this is basically like we have already done this Fluent-bit setup with the Prometheus node exporter, wherein we have seen like how we can use the Prometheus node exporter plugins to collect the system level metrics and performance data, and we have seen how we can expose that using the Prometheus metrics exporter plugin. So you can just follow the following article wherein like you can just complete the setup for Fluent-bit, which can be used further in the Prometheus instance. So for now, like I am just going to start up the service. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to start up the service. So here like we are, so just make sure like you are configuring your Fluent-bit with the following configuration: node exporter Prometheus config file, and start up the service. So I am going to run it for now. And just start up the service, or you can just do start service. And now we can verify it on the remote server whether the service has been started or not. So the service is started, and let me just quickly show you the Fluent-bit configuration that we have using. So as I said, like we have this two input plugins that we are using. Node exporter basically provides us with system level metrics, and Fluent-bit metrics provides us with Fluent-bit service metrics. And additionally, like we have added this following dummy plugin which actually generates some load on the server by like posting this message. And we are collecting this using the following output plugins, that is standard output and the Prometheus exporter metrics, wherein we are exposing the metrics on 2021 port. So this is the very basic Fluent-bit setup with Prometheus exporter plugins that we have configured. Now let me go into my Visual Studio Code, and now let us try to understand the Prometheus setup. So this is the playbook that we are going to use in order to install and configure the Prometheus instance. So as you can see, like Linux ping is basically to validate your SSH connectivity, so that can be ignored. Like we have already seen that in the Fluent-bit setup, like in our previous video. So that can be ignored if you're confident enough that your SSH connectivity is working fine with the Fluent-bit with the remote machine. And the second role is Linux install Prometheus. Third one is Linux configure. Fourth one is Linux start, wherein like we are starting up the Prometheus with a normal user rather than a root user. So there is no need of starting Prometheus with a root user. It is basically can be run as non-root user, and it can collect all the system level metrics for us. And for now, like we have commented out these two roles, that is stop Prometheus, restart and stop Prometheus. So basically, like you can execute these roles by passing the following tags, so that you can just stop or restart the Prometheus service whenever it is required. And the last one is Linux expose Prometheus, wherein we are going to expose the port 2021 on which the Prometheus instance is going to be running. Now let us go into each and every role. So as I said, Linux ping is basically to validate, wherein we are going to execute the ping command. So there is nothing much on that. Coming to the Linux install, so we have set some of the variables, or we can say attributes, wherein we have set the install package, which is a binary package provided by the official Prometheus documentation. And we have set two locations, wherein one is the software location where we are downloading the package, and the other one is the install location, wherein install directory, wherein we are installing the Prometheus. And we are going to provide the ownership as admin to execute the Prometheus instance. Now let us go into our actual role playbook. So here, like as I said, we are ensuring the following directories are present. So we are ensuring that the software directory is present, the install directory is present, and we are downloading the package, that is Prometheus package, and storing it at the following download directory destination. Once that is done, we are going to extract the Prometheus package, that is the zip file, gunzip file, in the following location, that is install directory, and providing the ownership and group as admin. And we have downloaded the package at the remote machine. So remote underscore site is source is set to true, so that it will try to look for the package on the remote machine itself. So this is the basic task related to installing Prometheus. Now let us go into the configure Prometheus section, wherein we have so the most important file in the Prometheus configuration is prometheus.yaml file, which we have set as the config template. So basically, we are going to update this YAML definition file as per our need and upload it into the Prometheus instance. And this is the download directory, the install directory, same as what we have done in the install Prometheus. And this is also Prometheus user and group, same as what we have done in the install Prometheus section. And here additionally, we are setting up these two parameters, or the fields, the Prometheus scrape port, scrape host, and scrape host, and the Prometheus scrape port. Basically, these are the parameters that go into the prometheus.yaml definition file, wherein we are configuring the instance from where we are scraping the Prometheus metrics. Now let us have a look at the prometheus.yaml definition file. So this is a default definition file that we get it, and the only thing that we have updated over here is the following section, the static config, wherein we are updating the target from which we are going to scrape the Prometheus metrics that we have connected. And this target is basically the Fluent-bit instance, wherein we are exposing the metrics on port 2021. So this Prometheus scrape host and Prometheus scrape port is going to be the following. So this is basically the Fluent-bit instance, wherein we are exposing the metrics on port 2021. So this is this is all that we are going to do with the prometheus.yaml file configuration over here. And now let us go into our tasks, wherein we are trying to identify our default configuration file, that is prometheus.yaml file, and we are going to update that default configuration file with our template file. So this is the template file, and this is the actual configuration file which we are going to update. and everything else remains the same. Ownership, group, and mode, we are setting it as read only. So this is all about the Prometheus configuration. Now we can look at the start Prometheus. So we are going to start up Prometheus instance on a customized port which is 2121, and we are going to expose it on like basically listen it or make it available on all the interfaces of the system. Now let us look at the tasks section, wherein what exactly we need to do is we need to start up the Prometheus instance. So Prometheus, like we have downloaded as a binary package, so we need to start up that binary using a set of configuration file and a set of options or the parameters that we need to pass to that Prometheus binary. So for that, like what we are doing over here is we are doing the same thing, like finding basically the Prometheus binary and the configuration file. Once we have identified the binary and configuration file, like we are just starting up the Prometheus instance basically using that binary and passing that config file, and we are customizing the Prometheus instance to listen on the following host and port, and we are running this in the backend. So this is all we are doing with the starting up of the Prometheus instance. This is something like I'm still working on. Basically, like this is a redundant stuff that we are doing in the configuration section also. Maybe like I will further update this playbook in order to reduce the redundancy. Now let us try to understand about the stop Prometheus. So once the Prometheus instance is up and running, like there will be a process ID for that one. So in order to stop the Prometheus instance, we need to identify that Prometheus process ID and then kill that process using the signal which we using the kill signal that we are going to pass to that process. So here I am using abrupt kill, but you can use a graceful graceful stop of the Prometheus instance using the sig term. So this is all about the stop instance, and the restart one, which what we are exactly doing over here is we are including the same two roles, that is stop and start. So let's say like you have Prometheus instance up and running and you have updated your configuration, and now you want to restart the service. We can restart the instance using the Linux stop. First we are stopping the Prometheus process, and then we are starting up the Prometheus process again freshly. So this is all like what we are trying to do with the Prometheus setup. So install and configuration of the Prometheus is the default thing, but the only change that we are doing is with the configuration, and that is like we are updating the scrape host and port with the Fluent-bit host and port from where we are exposing the metrics. Now let us see how we can execute the playbook. So let me go into my shell for a clear picture, and okay, we have also missed out this thing, the readme instruction. So this is basically like the instructions that we need to follow in order to execute the playbook. So if you are going to execute with a tag, it is going to execute that specific role from that playbook. Otherwise, like if we are not passing this tag, like it is going to execute all the roles in that in the specific order that we have mentioned in the playbook. So now let us try to execute the playbook. Let me go into my shell and go to the Prometheus folder, wherein we have our folder structure, and here let me open the readme instruction and try to get only this specific playbook instruction in order to execute the playbook. So now we are starting up our Prometheus instance. So here you can see it is executing the Linux install Prometheus playbook, which will download and extract, and then we are configuring the Prometheus. Basically it is going to update our Prometheus configuration file, and then we are starting up the Prometheus instance. And finally we are exposing the Prometheus port on the firewall so that we can access the Prometheus portal which is running on the customized 2121 port. Now let us go into our remote machine and try to check whether the Prometheus instance is up and running. Okay, doesn't look like it has started. So let me do a start. Okay, it has started. Now we can access the Prometheus instance using the port 2121. So this is how you can access the Prometheus port, and now we can look at the target status. And here you can access the Prometheus metrics, node metrics using the following URL, that is 2021. So this is how you can expose basically set up your Prometheus instance using the Ansible playbook. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you all. Thanks for watching this video, and you guys have a great new year ahead. Thank you.